Hello everybody, welcome to iExamB. Embrace the iExamB learning experience. In this video, we are going to discuss about SJVN recruitment for executive trainee legal post, and we are going to discuss preparation strategy, and I'll be sharing a study plan with you which you can use to start your preparation. This is SJVN executive trainee exam guide cum study plan. You can download this from the description and use it to know all the details about the exam. In this guide, you will have details first of all related to SJVN, the vacancies in various streams in 2025. You'll also have a brief understanding of what all salary and perks you can expect in this job profile. And then coming to eligibility, you need to have a graduate degree in law of 3 years or 5 years with minimum 55% marks. This is 50% for category students, SC, ST, PWBD. Age limit should be 30 years as on the closing date of advertisement. As of now, the closing date is 18th of May. No experience is required, no bar enrollment is required. The candidates who are in final year will also be considered for the selection process, provided the candidates submit a final copy, consolidated mark sheet of essential qualification on or before 31st July 2025. Your age should be up to 30 years for all posts, and age relaxations for various categories is also given. Now coming to exam pattern and syllabus, the selection process will be based on the marks obtained in computer-based test, followed by group discussion and personal interview. Final selection will be based on these weightages. Your computer-based test will have 75% weightage, group discussion 10% weightage, and personal interview 15% weightage. Now coming to computer-based test, this test is of 2 hours duration and has 2 sections. Section 1 is your professional knowledge, your discipline, and section 2 consists of questions from general ability, logical reasoning, intelligence test, etc. If you move into detail of the format of computer-based test, there will be 150 multiple choice questions of 150 marks. The paper is of 2 hours. It's computer-based. It's online paper. There are 2 sections, 120 questions from discipline, 30 questions from these subjects, and each correct answer will carry 1 mark, and there is no negative marking. So this is a benefit in this recruitment. There is no negative marking. Even if this exam is not your target, you can attempt this exam to see what kind of questions come in the exam, and you can accordingly prepare for the next exams. This SJVN exam may give a push in your preparation. The syllabus has also been released by SJVN. However, the syllabus is quite vast. So here I'll try to answer some of the queries with respect to general laws mentioned in the syllabus. Jurisprudence, I think, is clear. Jurisprudence is in your syllabus, then Constitution is in your syllabus, Law of Contract and Special Contracts, that means Indian Contract Act is in your syllabus, Family Law is in your syllabus. So here you will have Hindu Marriage Act, Hindu Succession Act, Indian Succession Act, Guardianship and Adoption Act, Maintenance Act. So these 5-6 laws from Hindu laws, and also a brief of Muslim law and Christian law. In order to prepare for that, I'll add a brief PPT. Though if any question comes from family law, a majority part is expected from Hindu laws. Then the next is law of torts, including motor vehicle accidents. I think this is self-explanatory. Consumer protection laws, this includes Consumer Protection Act. Just go through the latest one. Then coming to law of crimes, this is a very vast topic. I'll give you a list of acts, and then I'll tell you what all majorly you may need to study. So first of all, in law of crimes, you may have Indian Penal Code and also Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, which is the new one. Then there is CRPC, Bharatiya Nagrik Suraksha Sanhita. These two are your criminal laws. Even CRPC, Bharatiya Nagrik Suraksha Sanhita is mentioned separately. Then you have special and local criminal laws. In the special criminal laws, you may have economic offences like Prevention of Corruption Act, Prevention of Money Laundering Act, Companies Act related to corporate fraud, Customs Act, Income Tax Act related to prosecution, Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substances Act, Benami Transactions Act. These topics also overlap with your economic and social offences. So these are common in both these areas. Then there could be some acts related to offences against women and children. Dowry Prohibition Act, Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act, Sexual Harassment of Women at Workplace Act, Immoral Traffic Act, Prohibition of Child Marriage Act, Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act. I don't think you will expect too many questions from this area. What you can refer to is Sexual Harassment of Women at Workplace Act and a brief overview objective of the other acts. Then for terrorism and national security, also you have certain acts in law of crimes, Unlawful Activities Prevention Act, National Security Act, Prevention of Terrorism Act, Armed Forces Special Parts Act. Since recruitment is for SJVN, you may not need to go into much depth of these. In fact, IPC is the most important one here. Then there are Cyber and IT Crimes, Information Technology Act, which is also mentioned separately in your syllabus. So you can go for Information Technology Act. Then there are Social and Environmental Offences, Environment Protection Act, Wildlife Protection Act, Forest Act, SC/ST Prevention of Atrocities Act. These could be important. These are also present in Environment and Wildlife Protection laws. Then in Public Order and Security, you may have Prevention of Damage to Public Property Act, Arms Act, Explosive Act. This is not required. Then you have Indian Evidence Act, Bharatiya Sakshi Adhiniyam, which is mentioned separately as well. So these are all the topics that you may have to study in law of crimes, and also some of them are mentioned separately. Then coming to the next topic, which is property law. So here the first foremost most important act is Transfer of Property Act. Then there is Indian Contract Act, Indian Easement Act, Partition Act. Partition Act may not be required. Brief overview of Indian Easement Act is fine. Then there are some ownership and title related laws, Indian Succession Act, Hindu Succession Act. So this you will also study in family law. There is Registration Act, Indian Stamp Act, which is important and you may have to study them. Then there are certain land revenue and tenancy related laws. Land revenue codes are there, tenancy acts, which are state specific. So you may not need to refer to them. Then there is Urban Land Sealing and Regulation Act, Real Estate Regulation and Development Act, RERA, which is important in property law. You may refer to them. Then there is Land Acquisition Act, which is also mentioned separately. Indian Trust Act, Religious and Charitable Endowments Laws, Specific Relief Act. Then there are Forest Act, Indian Patents Act, Copyright Trademark Act, which also comes in intellectual property laws. So a lot of property laws also overlap with land laws. Specific Relief Act, Registration Act, a little bit of rent laws as well, and also laws of intellectual property. The most important ones here are Transfer of Property Act, Indian Contract Act, Indian Easement Act, RERA, Registration Act, Land Acquisition Act, Indian Stamp Act. So these will be the most important ones. Then in your labor laws, you have 4 labor codes and you have certain 8 to 10 labor laws. Then law of taxation, you may have to refer to GST Act and Income Tax Act, brief notes of which are already added to the course. You may not need to go through the entire Income Tax Act, that is very huge and may not be required. Then coming to company law, here you have Companies Act and IBC. Administration law, administrative law is self-explanatory. Alternate dispute resolution, so here you will have Arbitration and Conciliation Act. RTI Act is there, then Civil Procedure Code is there. Then Law of Limitation is Limitation Act, Specific Relief Registration Act. Coming to rent laws, Transfer of Property Act is one which defines lease, rights and liabilities of lesser and lessee duration, termination, etc. Then there is Model Tenancy Act 2021. Then there are certain state-specific rent control acts which you may need not study. Then there are banking laws and insurance laws. Banking laws may have negotiable instrument, RBI Act, Banking Regulation Act, SARFAESI Act, RDBFI Act, Banking Ombudsman Scheme, Integrated Ombudsman Scheme, Bankers Books Evidence Act. Insurance laws may have IRDI Act, General Insurance Business Nationalization Act, Insurance Act, Motor Vehicle Act. Then environmental and wildlife protection laws. So there are few environment laws, Environment Protection Act, Air Pollution, Water Pollution, Noise Pollution, all these pollution control and prevention acts. Then there are certain wildlife protection laws as well. Coming to service laws, first constitution is important in service law. Various articles deal with service related matters. Then there are central service rules and regulations. I don't think you need to study them. Then in law of intellectual property, you have the Patents Act, the Trademarks Act, the Copyright Act, the Design Act, the Geographic Indicator of Goods Registration and Protection Act. Then the last one is economic and social offences, which I have already told you. Then coming to part B, which is of 30 marks, there are 5 topics in this: general knowledge. This includes current affairs. In addition to current affairs, you may also have to study brief of Indian history, economy, polity, geography, a little bit of static current affairs as well. So you may have to study all of this in general knowledge. Then in general aptitude, there is a mix of reasoning and mathematics. So while your reasoning is a separate topic, you will study different types of reasoning here, usually which comes in SSC exams. And then there is mathematics, which is similar to quantitative aptitude, a little bit more inclination towards Coal India or SSC type of exams. In general aptitude, you have a mix of questions. Around 70% questions are from reasoning and 30% questions are from mathematics, usually the arithmetic part or the data interpretation. Then the language and behavioral aptitude is your English language. So I hope this gives you a brief understanding of the entire syllabus. Now coming to your preparation strategy and study plan. Here I have given you a week-wise study plan and also divided the topics in these weeks. What you can do is, if you are devoting 7 to 8 hours, you can keep around 1 to 2 hours for general knowledge. Then you can keep around 1.5 hour for your numerical ability, reasoning, English, and the remaining 4 to 5 hours should be devoted to your law portion, because law holds more weightage and there is no negative marking. So even if you spend a lot of time on general knowledge, you may not be able to cover the entire syllabus. What you can do is try to focus more on your law portion and prepare subtly. Maybe give 2 hours completely for part B and around 6-7 hours to part A, which is your legal portion. So here I've asked you, in week 1 follow numerical ability these topics, then in reasoning these topics, and in English these all topics. You can go for current affairs of January 2025 and refer to Indian history. These are all the topics that you may need to study in law. Since I am expecting the exam somewhere in June end, so you may only have 2 months for your preparation. Go for focused preparation and go for only the important acts present in the syllabus. Otherwise, the list is not exhaustive. There may be a lot of more acts which are not that important. So refer to only the most important ones and trust your judgment. If you need any kind of guidance, study material in order to prepare for this exam, you can refer to our online course. In the course, we will have content on all sections in the form of recorded videos and or study notes. You will have practice tests at chapter and section level. You will have legal summary sheets for quick revision. You will have MCQ booklets for comprehensive practice of every topic. So you can even enroll in the course and use the PDF notes for your preparation and just go and then attempt the questions. In the limited time, this much amount of preparation can also help you attempt your SJVN exam. Then there will be live classes for doubt clarification, and there will be 5 full-length mock tests in addition to the chapter section test and MCQ booklets. You can click on this link to check out our online course. This is the SJVN Executive Trainee online course. Here in the computer-based test, you will have quantitative aptitude, reasoning, English language, general awareness, legal discipline, everything present in a single course. In the legal discipline, you have civil laws, criminal laws, constitutional law of contract, corporate law, administrative, banking-related, insurance, environment, family, labor laws, property, land and rent laws. Few of the laws are missing and we'll add them soon. Acts related to economic, social offences, laws of taxation. So everything is present in a single course. You can refer to the live class recordings from this section. GD and interview guidance is also present. Full-length mock test will be added soon. So you can check out this course. If you are in need of this course, you can let us know. Enroll with our exam and make your preparation 50% faster. You can ask your queries in the comment below, or you can reach out to us on this number or write to us on this email ID. That's all for now. Thank you so much for watching this video. Subscribe to our channel. Stay tuned.